no lie. Resonating, vibes in, feeling good. Everything but vibrating. I am at peace. I am at peace.
You're meant to, when you dig a U shape, you're meant to start at one corner, go down like half a foot, and then half a foot all the way around, and then a foot all the way around, and then build a ramp and come out. I just went, come on, man, just make holes. Just make holes. And then I took so much earth out of the ground that my garden is now a foot higher than it was, right? And then, because I took it out in clumps, and it just landed in clumps, then I had to drive up and down on it to try and flatten it. Brilliant fun. Brilliant.
This is wicked, man. So learning new skills during lockdown, mate.
Done loads, mate. And then I've actually now pretended I've got a building company so I can get discount at builders merchants. I'm on first name terms with Travis Perkins. All right, John, how you doing? Like, get some of that number one aggregate, please.
So you have to go in there with a pencil in your ear, innit? Then you look serious.
All that, mate. Yeah. What site you on this week then, John? I'm like, I'm over in like Harvard Green this week. But the thing is, because I'm building the back of the house, everything has to be moved from the front of the house to the back of the house, right? So like one day we had 5 tons of sand and ballast, which is bits of rock in it. And that all had to get took out of the bag, put in a wheelbarrow, taken down the back, into the back garden, take it out of the wheelbarrow, into another bag, and everything had to get moved off the front, out to the back, same day. My son come and helped me, and then he went to bed at 7 o'clock.
I can imagine.
Beach muscles he's got, mate. He's hench, but he's good.
I wanted to talk about recently, there's been like Children in Need, which is a good cause, very good cause for like vulnerable children, children that could be in trouble, whether through poverty or through like somebody trying to assault them or take advantage of them. And the song that they have chosen for this year is a cover of a song called Stop Crying Your Heart Out. So the chorus goes, stop crying your heart out. Inappropriate, bruv.
Is it Children Need? Is that for UK kids? Is that worldwide? Or what is it?
It's even whatever who.
Is it a BBC thing? Is it a BBC thing?
Yes.
With that stupid nookie bear?
With the bear, man, with the one eye. The Juju bear.
Do you know, how can they still be doing this whole bullshit white people to the rescue nonsense?
No, they've stopped doing that. They've stopped doing that. They've stopped doing that, man.
Well, they're not rescuing them.
No, they're telling kids to stop crying their heart out now. Inappropriate choice, bruv.
But I don't know. This whole thing about children in need, mate, I struggle with it. I've got to be honest with you. The whole thing about charities and all that. All these celebrities, they get publicity out of it. So why don't you just give some money? Mm-hmm. We shouldn't have hungry children in 2020, man. Should not be the case. My friend runs a food bank, and he's just telling me some heartbreaking stories about people coming in, lost their jobs, now they're already on Skid Row 3 months later, 4 months later. You know, and it's hard. But I don't see how celebrities, like, you know, I don't really want to be in hard times and have Gemma Collins turn up at my front door with a bag of goodies.
You know what I mean?
I've eaten most of them. Be like, no, it don't really do it for me.
Talking of eating, right? The whole nation has been focused on Scotch eggs in the last few weeks. Let me say for the international people then, right? We were in lockdown until December the 1st. And then the pubs and stuff were going to reopen. But in order to go to the pub, there was rules around it. One of the rules was you would have to have a substantial meal with your drink. And a politician named Michael Gove was asked, I think it was like 8:30 in the morning, would a Scotch egg be considered a substantial meal? And he said, well, I'm not sure about that. And then about an hour later, he was asked the same question, 9:30. I'm not sure about that. I don't think so. And then 10:30, he said, yes, a Scotch egg would be considered an ample, substantial meal. So everyone's talking about Scotch eggs. Meanwhile, there's been an act passed that the coronavirus retention of fingerprints and DNA profiles in the interest of national security regulation. So if you do the test, they've put something in after you've done the test to say they can keep your DNA details basically in the interest of national security. What bothers me about this isn't like, I haven't got Tim Hat or anything, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's almost like me telling you that a load of bricks are going to cost you 100 quid, and then when I turn up, they cost you 300 quid. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like there was...
Mate, I've got a bricks don't cost me that. I'm a Charlie Fergus. Like, deal, John. 80 quid, mate.
Right, so I said to somebody the
So
other
what is your
day,
point? Get to it. What is your point? Go on.
he said he doesn't see any reason why people shouldn't have their DNA kept on file in the interest of national security
Yeah.
because it's for the greater good, right? And I said to him, he said,
Utilitarianism.
so even if they don't agree to doing that,
Yeah.
that should be allowed, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I said to this same person, if I was to take your telephone number, your name, your address, and your vehicle registration, and put that online, would you be happy for that? And he said, no, of course I wouldn't. I said, what, if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't be happy with that? He said, no. I said, but you can change all of those things. You can change your name, you can change where you live, you can change your vehicle registration. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your
Yeah,
DNA.
it's really tenuous though. I'm not going to lie. I think this whole thing about like the DNA thing. One argument is, isn't it? If you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to fear. So I'm not a rapist, so you can have my DNA. I'm not a rapist or a burglar. But I should imagine if you were a rapist or a burglar, you'd be thinking it's not right because you could get catch. There was a bloke who got caught. He took a piss in a flower pot, and he got arrested. And they had to prove that it was his piss in a flower pot. Done a DNA testing, and he'd been a serial rapist in the 1970s. Now, obviously, that was a bit naughty of them to have done that. They should have just destroyed his DNA and never found out who's the serial rapist. Or should they?
Well, for me, it comes down to this. If somebody is voluntarily going to take a test, you should be explicit about what that entails. So, for example, I agree 100%. I may press agree on my iPhone when it updates and not read half the things. And I might have agreed to some stuff that I don't know what I've agreed to. However, with this test, I feel some things should be explicit, not hidden. You understand what I'm saying? That's what bothers me. When you said then about me being worried about someone having my DNA, if you ask me, can I take your DNA and keep it on file? I have a choice to tell you yes or no, right? I have a choice to tell you.
Yeah, why would you say no?
I'm not saying I would say no.
So what are you wasting your breath for? What's the matter with you?
What I'm saying is, if things are allowed to be put in place without consent,
it's called tacit consent.
If certain things are being able to put in without consent and you're cool with that, but you therefore wouldn't be cool with putting your phone number online, but what is being taken is much more detailed, I feel like then
no, but you're
it's a slippery slope, isn't it?
You're comparing a goalkeeper with a centre forward. Yeah, you're two different things. Yeah, if you're not happy having your registration number online, then change your registration number. Simple. But your DNA is different. Like this whole thing about, yeah, I'm not taking a vaccine, or if I do, I'm going to put a magnetic suit on so that Bill Gates.
Oh no! I'm not even going there. We'll go down the next one because in the UK, what yesterday was the first dose to be given to somebody in the UK of the Pfizer vaccine. I'm not going there right now. What I'm saying is, if I'm allowed to come in your house, take your guitar off the wall, and just walk out of your house without asking you nothing, to me, that's a fuckery, bruv. Do you understand what I'm saying? I should have to come into your yard, ask you, say, John, can I borrow your guitar, please? Have you answer me, and me then take the guitar.
So you think then that they should go, maybe have a sample of your DNA, and you can go, no, I don't want it.
But we're in that situation now, bruv.
Yeah, but if you go, no, I don't want to take it, you're not think they're going to go, hello, what's going on here then?
I feel suspicious. I feel as suspicious as you say that is when someone's happy to give up information without consent. If you've done something wrong, then again, yeah, maybe you lose that freedom of whether you have a right to give consent. You understand what I'm saying? But the other way around, then what freedom do we have sitting here? That's all I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. Do you know what I mean?
But what do you mean freedom? What is this whole freedom bullshit nonsense? Where's that come from, freedom? What freedom you got?
What's so DNA?
Well, what is so good about freedom? Everyone keeps going about it. Oh, freedom of speech, freedom. What? What is the beauty of it? I can't understand.
So in this point for me, it was, for example, I don't know, man. It's a rabbit hole here. Maybe we should get back.
No. Come on, man. Do it. You tell me what you think is so interesting about your DNA. Do you think you can make little Jonathans?
Right. So no, I don't care as for what when it comes to. Okay, if we want to go on a moral level, right? In order for someone to have your DNA, in order to see with this drug, with this COVID, for example, there would be an opportunity to see whether there's patterns and sequences within your DNA which could make you more prone to be asymptomatic, could make you more prone to be really ill from it, could make you someone who doesn't catch it at all and doesn't show asymptomatic behavior, Do you know what I mean? Someone who's got a really high viral count anyway, and it can show all of these different things. And to a point, that's great. But to me, there should be a consent to be in that trial, to be in that. Do you understand what I'm saying? To be in that pool of data, That's how I
Yeah,
feel.
but you're a mad scientist, and this kind of stuff you lot do. I
Indeed,
bet you in your kitchen there, you've got some experiments going on with them oranges and all that in the background. And
indeed.
you
But
jerk
I
chicken.
just feel that you should be allowed your consent for that,
Informed consent.
informed consent.
I just think people just scrapping around for something to do. Look, you want to get out of the house and do you want to end lockdown, does that mean they can take your DNA? If that's the price. Is that a price to pay?
When you said to me, what is it about freedom? If I choose of to give my DNA, for example, and let's say things move towards a national healthcare system or a private healthcare system, which let's say now you broke your leg and you're not urgent. If you really want it done tomorrow, you have to go private anyway. So we're kind of there anyway. I love the
Yeah.
NHS, but we are kind of there. If you were to have insurance and they were to have a DNA thing and say, right, you're more prone to this, and this, so your basic insurance is going to be £1,000 more than next man because he doesn't have this, and this.
Yeah.
Now, that's cool if you have opted in. You understand? When you go to that insurance company, they may want a DNA swab and tell you why they're doing that to see these things. It's the underhand nature of
Do you
the
ever watch Black
government's
Mirror?
movement that bothers me. I don't know. I've heard about
Watch
this. I've
Watch
heard
Black
about
Mirror,
it, but
Yeah,
it's
they
the
have loads of
underhand
things.
movement that bothers me.
Yeah, but it's that whole thing of them. There's just life.
Oh, that
Do you know?
happens anyway, man. It's just when you see it,
It's life.
it'll grate me. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure it happens enough, and I don't see it. For example, everyone's talking about Scotch eggs. This law's being passed. We're mashing up Brexit. Brexit is supposed to be tonight. I think we're on the 9th of December today. Tonight, it's all supposed to be done and dusted. Do you know what I mean?
Freedom.
That
There's your freedom.
oven-ready
Free
deal.
from Europe, mate. We're free. Free at last. Free at last.
Oh my days. Well, we will see
But you see
tomorrow,
them people celebrating that Brexit, they're free. They think they got freedom. Now you, I think you know we ain't got freedom because of Brexit. Then people they'll go. Then some people go, yeah, have your DNA tested. You've got nothing to hide. You've got nothing to worry about. But all you need is someone to put X in the wrong box, and you are going down,
But
mate.
this is it. When, for example, someone was to say nothing to hide, nothing to worry about, 100%, I agree with what you're saying on a moral level. But if you've got a gene sequence, which means you're paying £5,000 a month more than me, for example, and that's not happening yet. This is a hypothetical situation. But you asked me what I felt of with regards to freedom, and that's what I feel with regards to freedom, not the airy things that everyone else is chatting about. This is like for my own thing. Yeah.
No, mate, I believe very strongly. I think I don't know, it was Hayek or someone who said that freedom is freedom to do what you want, but it's got to be away from the arbitrary will of others. That's how I live my life. You do what you want, so don't interfere with me, mate. Go about your business.
That's it.
That's
No
how
causing
I am.
harm or loss,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But I appreciate, so my missus went and had the COVID test, and I did say to her, what do you think you're going to do with that swab and that DNA? And, what if it turns out that like your brother's a kiddie fiddler because he always looks a bit of a wrong one to me, right? You're going to get him, you're going to get him arrested. And he'll be like, how did you find me? But her thing was, well, you know what, I've got nothing to worry about, so I'll have it done. Whereas my thing was, you've got to be careful with where you're letting your body fluids go, mate, because you don't know what. Like I say, some idiot puts that jar in that bucket. That would be my concern.
Indeed, and that could be a concern. That would be less of a concern for me because again, you know that you've done nothing. But it's not the doing something; it's the choice. To me, that's part of what I class as being British, which I'm really proud of. Do you know what I mean? Which is clearly in front of my face, able to be hidden that then things are taken away, that those freedoms are taken away, and it's hidden by something as simple as Scotch eggs. Do you know what I mean? Everyone this week's been talking about Scotch eggs, bruv. Everybody. Yeah. Who do you know spoke to you about Scotch eggs?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but anyway, let's be honest. Scotch egg ain't a substantial meal, man. Scotch egg is something you only eat when you're drunk.
Depends how big it is, though, doesn't it? I remember when I was younger, like my mum used to make some beefy Scotch eggs. Now you can go into Marks and Spencer's and get these
tiny little things, man. Pointless.
Yeah, it depends how big they are.
Pointless, man. Pointless. But I think that people need to question what we don't question because we just accept. And then, unfortunately, when you start questioning, they go, "Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're a loony. You're some crazy socialist or whatever." I've got American friends at the moment who have got me in just bafflement with some of the, God gave us this. We don't need a mask. Well, okay.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
It's hard. It is very, very hard. But you got to think that. What I think we should be wondering is how comes they're giving people this vaccine and it doesn't actually cure, treat, or prevent? What does it do then?
You see, now this is it, and I will leave this subject here until we get to the next one, right? But I've realised throughout the pandemic that I'd say up to 90, and this is just in my own guesstimation, that up to 95% of people choose not to think for themselves. Choose not to
Yeah, the
think for
sheeple.
themselves.
Don't use the word
And I
sheeple.
wouldn't even want to use that word, yeah, because they have consciously chosen not to think for themselves. Whereas a sheep would just maybe follow, right? They've consciously said, well, I can't be dealing with all them things. So I hope someone else sorts it out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I want to finish on something that you mentioned earlier that you wanted to talk about. It was a name that you'd mentioned.
Adolf.
Yeah, carry on.
I can't believe you don't know about Adolf Hitler and how well he's getting on in Namibia.
So, some context, please.
His name. He's a Namibian politician. Namibia used to be a colony of Germany. He won an election in Namibia, and his dad called him Adolf Hitler. He's an African man,
Wow.
and it is quite funny because obviously, I guess that's not the most popular name in the world, is it? Adolf. Anyway, you don't really meet people called Adolf. And if you get a chance to look, I think it's still on the BBC website. It's just the context of what the Germans and the Europeans did in Africa to think that, right, naming your kid after Cecil Rhodes, you might go, okay, yeah, now we know he did bad things. But you can't tell me that when you're thinking names, Adolf Hitler, yeah, this is a nice name. I'm going to call my son Adolf Hitler. So, what the Genghis Khan, it's his brother. I don't know. It's like, it just seems
It's almost
like
unfathomable, isn't it?
yeah, you kind of go, yeah, it's not really going to make you very popular. Even though the doctors, Mr. Hitler, he's back. You're like, what?
Oh man, right. You know what? I think that's us for this show.
That's it. Finished.
So I think we're done. I'm loving the beard. I want to see how it progresses.
It's gonna. I want to get it so long I get food stuck in it. It's a Scotch egg.
Nice. Nice. Well, he's John Ryan.
And he's somewhere around here. It's Jonathan Prince.
We are.
We were.
Ah.
We were. We are. All right, we are. We are brutally honest.
We don't know no lie. Resonating